to Backstreet Salvation. I'm Chris Charisma. Now, as you can see in that little background right there, we're going to be talking a little bit about the dollar bills, y'all. The dollar bills. Now, who controls the dollar bills? The federal government controls them dollar bills. So, as everybody, I'm hoping, knows, 2 weeks ago, Congress was set to go on recess. That recess consists of a whole month. Now let's not sugarcoat some words, okay? That's a vacay. On that vacay, they get paid. Now, me personally, I'd like to get paid for my vacation, but yeah, some jobs don't, they're not going to pay you for that extent, and they're definitely not going to pay you that much of what they're making. So, yeah. Anyways, they were set to go on vacation, but because America is still in this little turmoil of financial ability, and, well, let's just face it, I mean, we need them to give us some freaking money. Otherwise, well, you got the looting, and you got the rioting, and you got all kinds of chaos going on, especially if we don't get our money, and we still have to owe bills. Do they owe the bills that we owe? No. So they really don't give. I don't want to really cuss on here. I really don't want to get obscene. Let's just put it this way. They really don't know the pains and the sufferings of the people, because they are up on luxury, lavishness. I'll just say that, okay? I mean, it might not make sense, but it makes sense in my head. Well, anyways, they decided to extend this little vacation that they had, and with that, they were trying to come up with a deal. Now, the Democrats, their whole ordeal was, basically in a nutshell, they were going to they were going to try to come up with a $3.5 trillion stimulus package. The Republicans were only willing to go, I think it was like 1 trillion, maybe 1.5 trillion. But I do know it was definitely 1 trillion. Whether it was the 0.5, I'm not quite sure. Now, the Republicans didn't want to budge. Why didn't they want to budge? Because that $1 trillion was just going to be covered for short term. That short term was just going to cover the Wu Flu 19. The Democrats wanted long term, not only to cover the Wu Flu, but also to cover other little areas and aspects that the Democrats like to do. Now, let's say, I think the whole two-party system, I think that's a joke. Now, I really don't want to go into the political aspect right here, right now. But I do think the two-system party, I think that's a joke. I really do. You have to choose the devil, and which one do you trust more? Me, personally, I trust the Republicans a little bit more than the Democrats, because the Democrats, they seem to want big government. That is where the government is going to sustain me, help me live. I want to be able to control my life and be able to control my own self. That's kind of like what the Republicans want to do, at least for the most part, even though they like padding the rich class and the very high middle class. Yet, that's nor here nor there. Well, it is kind of here, but I don't want to get quite into that, because that's a lot of rhetoric that I'm pretty sure that all of us are pretty much sick of. Now, this 1.5 by the Republicans was for the short term. 3.5 by the Democrats was for the long term. They couldn't come up with a deal during that extended meeting that they had. Meeting. Right. Well, come to find out that the Democrats, they are, how do you say, let me get that up here. They're willing to cut a deal. They want to cut a deal on the stimulus. Now, I have my own reasons as to why, but I might make that a whole nother video. I'm not quite sure yet if I'll even cover it. So, I'm just going with what they already put out there, what's already covered in the news and everything. So, I think it's about time that we have a little bit at it. And just find out what exactly is going on. Are they actually going to go on vacation, or are they actually going to help the American people? I mean, look here, man. I need some cover. Okay? I mean, I'm pretty sure you might need some cover too. It'd be nice, okay? It would be nice to have a little bit of cover. So that way you don't have to sweat about bills. So that way you don't have to sweat about food, about anything. Maybe you're in Arizona or Texas dealing with that high heat. That is some high energy costs. But anyways, I'm going to rest it on that. Let's go on into, let's go check out the news and see what's going on. You with me? Let's rock it. Alright, now here we have an article from Zero Hedge. I'm not quite sure how you feel about that. You could be biased away from it. You could be towards it. It could just be just another name for you. Me personally, as I said in my other videos, I like finding different sources. This is one that brought it up to my attention. So, I want to read it. I hope you'll join me. Now, this is what caught my eye. The deal imminent. Here, let me get this a little bit bigger here for you. Let's blow this up here. Wow, there you go. How about that? Does that work? Does that work better for you? I hope it does. All right. Well, the deal is imminent. Pelosi says Democrats willing to cut demands in half to get agreement on stimulus bill. So that means they're 3.5. They're going to cut that in half to go down to the 1.5 trillion. Okay, so then that would be the Republicans are at the 1 trillion. Yet they haven't wanted to budge. And here we go with the Democrats. They're willing to cut that crap in half. So my question is, are they wanting the short term or the long term with that 1.5 that they're cutting? Because with that 3.5 they wanted the long term. So now if they cut that in half, is that long term going to go to the people that don't need it? Let's say corporations, let's say organizations, let's say colleges, libraries, all that such. It needs to go to the people. Okay, I'm sorry. The people are what make the jobs. People are what make the businesses. You give us money, we spend. Simple. When we spend, that gives you business. If you give it to the business, who's going to buy? Did we not learn this back in 2008? You gave the money up to the banks, man. When you could have given that money to the people would have saved the banks. They would have bought properties, they would have bought clothing, they would have bought whatever it is they want to buy. They would have helped, and it would have stimulated the economy a lot faster. Now it seems like we might be, that's the question that I kind of have. That 1.5 that they cut down in half, is the majority of that going to go to the corporations, the organizations, or is the majority of that going to come to the people to help those businesses, organizations, and whatnots? Second question is, will the Republicans just put a dot after that 1 and a 5? Will they go up? They don't even have to go to 2 trillion. I'm pretty sure the Democrats tried to get them to go to 2 trillion, but they said no. I think they're riding Trump's coattails even though they don't like Trump. That's right. Republicans do not like Trump. Democrats do not like Trump. Trump is just on a Republican ticket. He's a businessman, not a politician. Republicans, politicians. Democrats, politicians. That's why Trump is, in a sense, helping. Now, whether Whether you're this orange man bad or you're this pro-Trump, look, you're people, okay? We're all people. We all have our own opinions. We all have our own feelings. Let's not have this divided in a two-party system, okay? Let's just focus on how we can take a step forward, how we can progress to better our own lives, whether it's your life, if you want to help somebody else with their life, cool. Me, I want to help just my life, okay? I mean, to each their own. I want to take care of mine. I hope you want to take care of yours. Now, those are my two questions that I have, okay? I'm hoping that I get an article today or tomorrow telling me that, hey, the Republicans will go to that 1.5. That way, in a matter of weeks, we'll get a second stimulus that'll really help me out, okay? It's going to help me out. If it helps you, you're more blessed than what you deserve. But I want to be more blessed than what I deserve, okay? I do as well. Alright, so let's get reading this. Just moments ago, we said that with both parties set to benefit from reaching a deal on a new fifth fiscal stimulus round, it is likely just a matter of, quotation, very brief time before Democrats and Republicans reach a compromise agreement, splitting the difference between the smaller HEALS Act proposed by the Republicans, which tops out at $1.1 trillion, and a $3.4 trillion HEROES Act proposed by the Democrats. Alright, well, I thought it was 3.5. My bad. Apologize for that. Now, I'm not quite sure if you can see that little scale, that little chart there, but this is telling you pretty much where that money's going. The Republican side, they wanted to put a lot into the small business, which I'm for. I am for the small business. I'm for the mom and pops, okay? I'm all for that because I'm telling you what, man, mom and pops, they got some dang good food. I'm from a place that has a Cupid, hamburger and pickle on top, make your heart go flippity flop, okay? That's all I'm saying. That burger, look, I might be biased towards the hometown burger, but it's good, man. It's really good. Better than a freaking Wendy's, better than a McDonald's and Burger King. Don't get me started on Burger King and that little Impossible Whopper. This is not a Whopper, that's not meat. Alright? I'll stick to the homegrown mom and pops that stays in town or whatever. But anyways, let me keep going here. Now, they have other measures. We're not quite sure what that is. Business tax breaks. Now, see, I'm not quite sure if this is billions or millions or what. It has the number. It's not telling you. It's not like a category right here. It just says the small business will get the $2 billion. But anyways, now, this is the part that I'm finding kind of curious. The unemployment benefits is 110, so they're not really wanting to help the unemployed. Yet the businesses have to cut the employees in order to save their own asses. Pretty much. Help out the unemployed. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't have them profit more than the employee. At least make it even. And for Trump to give us this little what did he call that? Deferment? The deferment for the tax? Okay, let that benefit the employee. Now, if you put that deferment on unemployment, they're just breaking even. Unemployed versus employed, they're just breaking even. We don't want to have them break even. We want to encourage them to work. You work, you stimulate the economy, Man, we go back to living high. Granted, we're not going to be able to make up for this summer, because this summer's lost, man. Look here. Look. This has been about the worst summer I have ever experienced. And I've gotten injured on some summers. I had a split eye. Ow. I want a good summer, man. But this summer robbed me. And this was 2020. This was supposed to be an epic summer like 1999. Okay? This was supposed to be epic, but it's definitely epic just on the wrong turn. I digress, though, okay? Now, It's telling you state and local aid. That's that all varies, man. There's so much detail into these state and local. What all is that going to go to? Is it going to go to the state and local police, library? What kind of municipality is that going to go to? A safety net and other tax cuts. They really don't want that. I mean, it's the Republicans. They don't want that. They like the money in their pocket. I like the money in my pocket too. All right. Now, what was already passed between them was the one. Yeah, that's a lot of billions. I mean, it's evened out. Okay, Democrat. What they're trying to do, they're trying to get the other measures, 302, but really tank on some businesses. Okay, I mean they're trying to amp everybody up. So I'm gonna give it to them. I'm gonna give it to the Democrats. They're really trying to amp it up. But the thing is, I'm telling you what, Democrats are sneaky. I'm sorry if you're a Democrat, but Democrats are sneaky, man. They put in a lot of fine print. And I gotta figure that the state and local, I think they might be raising taxes on that, because look at how much that is. That's how much they want to put into there. Now they're talking about defund the police. Well, the state and local aid is the police. That's where a lot of the majority of the money goes. Are they playing both sides? I think so. I mean, I'm going to let you be the judge of that, but I personally think so. But anyways, they're going to give, now look at this, 437 to unemployed, 436 to a stimulus. And they're not going to give much at all to small business. That right there, that's an indication to me that they are going to have some fine print to where if you're reliant on the government, that's how they're going to get their money back. I'm just saying. But let's continue. I mean, we can look more at this. Like I said, this article is at Zero Hedge. Just type in, well, just go to Google and type in Pelosi says Democrats want to cut a check or stimulus. Just type that in, okay? And you'll come up with this Zero Hedge article right here. Now, specifically, let me continue with this. Specifically, we said that we are confident it is only a matter of time before Congress announces a major deal, one which sees U.S. debt explode higher by several trillion, sends the dollar sliding more, and pushes gold to new all-time heights. Now, look, I want you to be aware, because I gave a video last week, or not last week. I gave a video the other day about how the United States Postal Service is trying to get into blockchain. Now, I wasn't able to do a video when this HEROES Act the Democrats proposed. They tried to propose something else before the HEROES Act, and that was to pretty much look into blockchain. Now, what I'm telling you is, because you're pumping a lot of money into the economy, the dollar bill is going down. Prices are going to be going up. That's called inflation. You're going to have inflation. So what you're making is not going to seem like that much anymore. Gold is going up because of this, but that's just a bypass. Gold is really does not have much value. I mean, they're pretty much, it does have the value, don't get me wrong. For the dollar aspect it does. But what happens if you don't have the what happens if you don't have the dollar? What's the gold going to do? Blockchain, digital. Everybody has a phone. Not everybody, but most people have a computer. Not most. Some people have a computer. A lot of things are going digital. That is the aspect that they are trying to push. And I do believe this is going to be one of the processes that's going to make it go that way. Now, if you're a religious person, I don't want to say it because it's still not a currency. I mean, there is a form of currency, Bitcoin, with this blockchain, but it's still not worldly accepted. And you know where I'm going with that. I don't want to scare anybody, and I don't want to defer any of the people that are not followers of the Bible or any kind of religion. I don't want to do that. I don't want to offend you. Trust me, I don't want to offend you. I'm only here for entertainment. I'm only here to entertain you, to at least make you laugh. But I want to inform you a little bit, to guide you. Okay? That's my main purpose, to guide you, to have you think, to lead your life in a better way. Who does not want to have a better life? I had a horrible life, and I've been trying to make it better. I feel I can help you. At least try. I would like to try. Well, anyways, as further reminder, absent a new fiscal stimulus, U.S. compensation would collapse from its recent sugar high. That's the stimulus that we had. That's the Wall Street going up to levels last seen 2 years ago, which would crater U.S. GDP with just weeks to go before November election. That's why the Republicans are holding steady, and that's why the Democrats said screw it. They're going to roll the dice. 69. They're rolling the dice on that election. I'm going to make a video of who I am going to predict, okay? I mean, come on now. Everybody's trying to predict who the president's going to be. We're going to have fun with this, okay? I'll post a video either tomorrow or sometime the remainder of this week. I'll give you my little choice. Try to make it fun. I'm not going to play the video because I really don't like playing videos. Yeah, they voted though, okay? Well, I don't know if you've seen that. Now, this is the $1 billion. This is the sugar high that they were talking about, this little picture diagram right here. Now, let's just continue. Well, just a few minutes later, it appears that we are well on our way to compromise because according to Politico, so we can look at this article in Politico as well, Pelosi said that Democrats are willing to cut COVID-19 demands in half. In half. That's not too bad, if you ask me. Well, of course. To get agreement on stimulus bill. And since Pelosi has previously come down to about $2 trillion, this suggests that Democrats now ask is around 1.5, while the GOP, which is the Republicans, remains around 1 million. So hopefully we can get them to go up, at least to that 0.5, you know, to help us out before winter comes. Because when winter comes, bruh, I want the heat on. It's going to be cold, okay? It's going to be cold. I need to get some clothes to stay warm if my heat is not on. Yeah. Now, considering that last week Goldman Sachs chief political analyst predicted that the final deal would be somewhere in the 1.5 trillion ballpark, and since Trump has more to lose than to win by not signing a deal ahead of the election. So Trump's ready for it. Matter of fact, there was an article, I think it was last week or the week prior. Trump talked to his treasury. I think that is Mnuchin. And Trump pretty much said they already worked it out. Like, okay, let's pregame for this. They already got the pregame ready, just in case. That's why I think Trump went ahead and did his little brass thing once the Congress said screw it. I came out and said, hey, let's do the 300 for unemployed. The state had to pick up the other 25%. That's why he did you can't get evicted, at least by the government. If you're If you have housing that's paid for by the government assistance, you're not going to get evicted. Yet, if you don't have that, hey, bruh, yeah, you might be rolling the dice on that one. But he did student loans. I know there's 4 of them. Can't remember the last one. But anyways, let's get back into this. I'll remember it here sooner or later. As failure to compromise would send the border economy into the abyss once more just ahead of the elections. Oh yeah, you'd get some very pissed off people. I know I would be. I know a lot of people would be. I mean, yeah, they're upset. Maybe not the unemployed people, but the people that were working, yeah, we're kind of upset. We expect that the theater over the latest round of fiscal stimulus is almost over, and within days, if not hours, Dems and Republicans will announce a deal for a new fiscal stimulus of just around 1.5 trillion, one which the Treasury has already largely factored. Like I said, Mnuchin and Trump already talked; they already got it pre-planned, already largely factored into its debt budgeting needs for the current and coming quarter. Now look, I don't want to look at this because this is like some technical stuff. But if you'd like to, go to Zero Hedge, or as it says, it's in Politico. It also means that the feds will now have to aggressively ramp up its quarter earnings. Oh boy, I don't want to see that face there. Skeletor. Ramp up its quarterly earnings and find a good excuse for doing so, of course, which currently is at about 8 billion. Billion per month, and will be insufficient to monetize versus a new issuance that would fund any new stimulus deal. Well, that's that. Okay, that's that. So I want to give you hope on that. Okay, that's the rundown of what's going down. Okay, before people were saying we're going to get a stimulus. No, we weren't. Now we can almost say that. Just about. We got hope again. Now, if you take that hope away from us, bruh, some pitchforks for us peasants, man. Now, this is something else that came to my attention. I don't know who the hell are these 7 states, but I want to tell you what. You 7 states that are pretty much saying you're not going to participate. Let me tell you what, man. Y'all need to just stop. Stop it. Participate. Feel the burn just like us, okay? That's what you need to do. Feel a little bit of the burn just like us. I mean, you don't have to feel that much of a burn, but at least help. Okay, Trump's trying to help the people. Quit trying to snub them just because you don't like the orange man. Okay? Help the people. You help the people, the people's gonna like you. Alright, let's read in this, because this was concerning to me. With only 7 states have signed up for the $300 employment stimulus, as businesses warn they won't participate in payroll tax. Now this is for the Trump deal. What Trump already has, that's without the stimulus that we just talked about. Okay? So, yeah, these are the 7 states: Colorado, Missouri, Utah, Iowa, Louisiana, and New Mexico have signed up with FEMA so far to access the additional 300 stimulus. Alright, so they're the ones. I want to know who are not the ones. And while more states are expected to continue to sign up, the process will be lagged, which will result in delayed payments. Alright, so if we're going to get some delayed payments, even if the House doesn't come up with a deal. What is interesting is city economists have speculated is whether states that did not apply to FEMA will end up seeing their unemployment rates fall faster. Alright, so yeah, this is a disaster. This is a disaster relief. Alright, I'm getting at pretty much some of this. That said, it's concerning the single biggest boost in U.S. customer, which buoyed the economy for much of the past 3 months. Federal stimulus for the unemployment. That's right. That's why the stock markets went up. That's why they're still going up. And trust me, if we don't get a stimulus September, October, that market's going to start coming down, if not hard. The Great Depression was in October. I'm really sure it was in October. I'm not saying it's the Great Depression, but I'm just saying history rhymes. Alright, so basically we got some of these states, but that was the header that I really wanted you to pay attention, well, not pay attention to, but to take notice of, because that kind of spooked me out a little bit. Now, I'm more concerned. I'm really not worried about that because, I'm trying to seek a job. I wish unemployed people would seek a job so we can get this economy going. I mean, we get this economy going. The politicians are not going to do it for us. They're only going to give us a stimulus, but they're not going to boost up the economy. We have to do that by working. We work, we make money, we spend. We spend, we keep on up with the cycle. Alright, well anyways, I just wanted to run that through with you. I was really mostly concerned with the imminent deal Pelosi wanted to do. That kind of tickled me pink. Tickled my fancy a little bit. But as of right now, I'm going to sign off, and with that being said, I hope you're more blessed than what you deserve, and thank you.